Against popular opinion, the fear of wealth has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with righteousness. It's the enemy's attempt to keep you broke, burnt out, and behind and delayed on your purpose. Because a broke believer can't build cities. They can't fund missions. They can't disrupt demonic systems because they don't have the resources to do so. And they can't support the kingdom with the magnitude God intended. So if no one's told you this before, you were not born to just survive. This is not holy. You, my darling, were born to multiply. And a little fun fact, did you know that the Bible talks about wealth and prosperity more than it talks about heaven and hell combined? That's right. Over 2,000 scriptures refer to wealth and prosperity. These same scriptures talk about actual material possessions, stewardship, and multiplication and increase of money. And Jesus spoke about money in nearly half of his parables. Why does the church not talk about this? Why are they leaving this out? Because God was not avoiding this topic. God actually felt it was very necessary for us to understand what wealth, prosperity, stewardship of money, building of financial literacy, understanding exchanging of money. He found that to be extremely important. Again, it's mentioned more than heaven is talked about and hell is talked about combined. Like add those two, the sum of the amount of times heaven and hell is talked about in the Bible. God decided that wealth and prosperity and possessions and stewardship of money was much more necessary. We'll just read a couple of the 2,000 plus scriptures that talk about money. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth." So God made it very clear. He gives us the power to build and multiply our finances here in the earthly realm while we're living. He's not talking about afterwards, after we die, after we go to heaven. He's talking about now, and he gives us power to do so. Proverbs 10:22 says, "The blessing of the Lord makes you rich and adds no sorrow to it." This is one of my favorite scriptures because a lot of the misinterpretations about how we build wealth and once we get rich, it will be so sorrowful. It will be so hard. It's going to be such a struggle once you get money. And those are actually worldly lies that have been fed to us by the system and by religious churches that are not connecting to God's word about what riches actually looks like. God says that being rich should not have any sorrow added to it.